That's the kind of stuff I want to get picked up. All right, let's see. Welcome to Constant Collectible. Well, this is Spoil It, episode 3.
Número tres.
Yes, Westworld season 1, episode 5, and Star Wars Rebels. What was it? It's
This
what, season
episode.
3, episode 6. Yes, Imperial. No, I wrote it down. Imperial Super Commandos.
Super Commandos.
Super Commandos. But woo, both these shows really good. But let's which one do you want to do first?
How about we do Star Wars Rebels?
All right, let's jump into some Rebels action.
Rebel.
Mandalorians. Should I say more? I mean, come on, dude. Mandalorians. Some of them.
You can never have enough Mandalorians.
I'm right there with you. You can't. I mean, I think those were some of my favorite episodes from Clone Wars.
I concur.
But this one, you know, it was interesting because, you know, here we are. They've lost contact with the protectors of what's it called? Concord Dawn.
Concord Dawn.
Thank you. And so here you have, gosh, there's some tots. You have Sabine, Ezra, and Fen. Is it Fen Rao? Fen Ra? Fen? Can't get enough Fen.
I've been trying not to laugh.
Dude, some tots, dude.
Napoleon, these are your tots.
And we get
your own tots.
Yes, I know, right? You're making me hungry. Stop. So they discover the Imperial Mandalorians have taken over the station. Basically, not even just taken over it; they've destroyed it. They've come in there and they've wiped out these guys, which was kind of cool because these guys are tough. What do you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I'm getting more messages, which is kind of funny. But I liked it. I didn't care for the new design of the Imperial Super Commando Mandalorian helmets.
But is it a new design?
Yeah, no, but yes.
Okay, because it's an original. It's close to the original Boba Fett because that's what he was supposed to be.
Yes, it's early Mandalorian, but there was some tweaking to it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the jetpacks, although they were pretty cool. I thought it was a great episode. I really do. Anytime they bring in the Mandalorians, I'm very happy.
Yes, I agree.
Anytime Sabine is involved, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Ezra fan, Ezra Bridger, but you know, I take it with, you know, the series. So
is it because he's a little whiny?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's because he's of late since now that, I mean, to me, I feel like he should have at least matured a little bit more, but I still feel like we're getting this little kid, you know, from the first season. And it kind of bugs me a little too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge Ezra fan, which is fine. Like I said, you know, I take it with a grain of salt because I like a lot of the other characters. But yeah, I thought this episode was really cool. I like the fact that they're using the Mandalorian concepts, even with the other ship that they destroyed during the episode. So yeah, I like the fact that they did slightly modify that new shuttle they got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they call it the Phantom 2.
The Phantom 2.
Yeah. So
yeah, I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it too, and I liked that it was still a little. We're kind of chipping away at Sabine's backstory in a way, because and I can't remember what the guy's name is, but who was in charge of the Imperial Super Commandos. He is from her house,
Her clan,
her clan, and which is also where her mother still resides, and all this stuff. So it's like, okay, we're getting a little bit more and more on what her story is, and I like that. I enjoyed that. She is a fun character.
Yeah, I like the character a lot. I like that, there is still a shroud of mystery behind her. They did expose that a little bit on this past week's episode. I like the fact that she is a stereotypical, you could say, female version of Django, maybe,
Okay,
because
I can
she
see that.
uses, she uses the dual blasters. Um, but she doesn't have, Fett's attitude, or precision, you could say. But I like her.
Yeah, I do too. I like her style. I like that she is rebelling, but I also like that she does hold on to those Mandalorian beliefs and system, but she does it with her friends, or you could say her new family. And that's what ultimately wins over Fen to say, you know what, I'm with you. At first I couldn't stand you, couldn't believe you were doing this. I'm out for me and my people, but so is Sabine, and it kind of sways him back. I mean, you got to see that he left him high and dry, and he's halfway gone and realizes that I'm an idiot. She's doing exactly uh, you know what should be done, and he turns around and of course helps save the day. So
Yeah, it's a good episode.
it was a very good episode. So I mean, if you haven't been watching it, it's, I mean, you could pick up on any episode. They are kind of single episode based, even though there's a little backstory that we've been growing on. But it's really easy to jump in if you haven't been
Yeah,
watching it.
there's that overall story arc that they are following, and they do have a lot of these little side adventures that they write in, which they kind of have to. Um, but yeah, I think they're continue on with a good overall writing strategy. I think they're keeping on their original writing staff too, I believe.
Hmm.
I think that Dave, Filioni is great for staying involved. I think they're going to have a. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm hoping they go more than 4 or 5 seasons.
I am too, and I'm kind of curious where this goes, where it leads up, and what we're going to see. Especially, will it tie into Rogue One? Will it tie in somewhere else? I mean, like we just talked, and our last show. Um, Here we are with Disney, Marvel, and Lucas, and they're really kind of giving us a bigger picture. They're tying things up. They're giving us little breadcrumbs here and there that all connect to some of these other shows and books and comics. It's fun. It's a fun ride.
I concur. I'm not, there were a few rumors, that you mentioned it. There were a few rumors that there was going to be maybe a couple subtle tie-ins to Rogue One,
Hmm.
um, but nothing definitive so far.
Okay.
Which, if they're going to do something, I think we'll see something in the coming couple of weeks, or we might see it after Rogue One. Um, but I'm hoping that if they do the tie-in, like I've seen a few rumors, online, that we'll see something before Rogue One is released.
Well, I think probably that tie-in, you'll probably get a little bit to begin with, and we'll probably get some afterwards. Most likely now, um, because of where we are time-wise, we're probably going to get them talking about this like a secret weapon, and it's basically them talking about this Death Star. And I think that's we'll
Right.
get some of that at least, and then maybe after the break, because what are there going to be 22 episodes? Do you know?
I don't know, actually.
Okay, because I
I should know.
I think we're getting at least 11 for the first half, and then they take that break for the holidays and then pick it back up next year. So hopefully we get 11 and 11, and probably could go over on IMDb and it will probably tell us. But that would be kind of cool that they give us a little tease and then the movie comes out, and then when we come back, then we get a little bit more, and maybe they pick off of something that was said or done in Rogue One. Who knows? It's all a timing thing. So it's fun. I like what they're doing with this property and the other properties.
I concur.
God, I should have concurred. Love that line. All right, let's go west, young man.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this show's killing it.
See, I cannot watch this Sunday nights. I cannot watch this Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I wait until roughly 2 hours before we go live.
Which then it's
and
all fresh for you, which is great.
Yes. And I rewind back through it, re-looking at some stuff. I mean, last week I sat there and I watched it once, started over again, and started making notes as I was watching, which I didn't do this week. Okay. But this week wasn't as complex. We weren't running all over the board. This week it was kept very simplistic but complex. We weren't running all over the board, but we only kept along a couple story arcs, which was really cool.
Yeah, which one of them was very, very interesting. The designer, the creator, the writer, whatever, who basically gets drunk and pisses all over everything. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, the story arc guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets totally drunk and just starts peeing on the
on the big
and the guys are all standing going, what the hell are you doing?
Is it raining? What's going on? And they're like, oh dude, and he just starts yelling at him and blah blah blah, and then he gets introduced to this person from the board who he met down at the pool where he was getting drunk.
Right.
It was great.
He was the corporate representative, but I think we should point out the acting ability. Yes, thank you. The acting ability and the self-control of Sandy Newton. Most of her scenes, she had to sit there on that table completely nude and going through all those lines.
Yeah.
And having to basically either negotiate or, influence the two, what do they call those guys?
They're the lower tech guys. So you have, what's his name? Lutz,
right.
I think his name is. You have Maeve basically sitting and
the butchers. They call them the butchers.
Yes, that's right. It's almost like she was not being him to get information, but in a way she was, because she straight up tells you that then if I'm programmed, I can read people, and I'm reading you, and I'm reading the other idiot who comes in. Who, man, what a big wuss.
Yeah, he plays a good part of trying to be tough and trying to influence his partner there, but yeah, he just turns out to be a complete fool.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to literally piss his pants because he was scared of her, because he basically threatened him with, well, I know what you've done to me on your spare time because I have this memory now, and he's like, oh, so in a way he's getting blackmailed to do this stuff. But then because he goes and does this stuff, we find out that somebody has already manipulated her data, and someone has already altered her. Who is it? It had all we know is it had higher clearance. We don't know who this person is, which could tie into all this other stuff, of course, that's going on, which it does. But I mean, just in this episode alone, because
right.
You've got Elsie, who discovers the sabotage, which we learned last episode, but she finds out even more. Here we are. She goes digging in this system, and we find out that President, I forget what her name is. I always forget what her character's name is, but she's the mole. She's the one selling off all these secrets. The question is,
well, we are being led to believe that she is the one.
That's true. That is true.
But she's been super stressed out. and especially when she's been communicating with Jeffrey Jeffrey Wright's character,
Yes.
and
Leonard,
I'm not
right?
so
Or
sure that
Bernard.
it
Sorry.
is her, or yeah, Bernard. Sorry, but if it is her, then she just has a small hand to play. She's not doing programming. I don't think it's her,
That's
because
a good
when
point.
yeah, stupid dog.
Jack agrees. I think you're
Yes,
right. Maybe she's being manipulated. Maybe she's being set up. Who knows? I like that. That is a very good point. The other thing I was thinking too is that I mean, here we've got Elsie digging around. She's already found this device. She's told Bernard that she's found it. Now she's digging in deeper, and she's calling Bernard, and she's calling Bernard, and it's like, oh, I think her name's Teresa. That's right, Teresa. And he's like,
yes.
it's Teresa. She's the one. She's the mole, and then afterwards they talk a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, here she is digging more, and she finds information. She's like, oh my gosh. And then you hear creak, and it's like, hello,
Right. And
Bernard?
the entire time she's in there, you're thinking this is going to happen.
Mhm.
It's coming. Someone's going to be walking in, and of course it does happen because you can see by the way they're shooting her angles that someone's going to be walking in so soon.
Yeah. And next thing you know,
Right.
and she's gone. And you're like, okay, who took her? You know? Yeah, that's awesome. I love these little stories within this bigger story. And then the
Well, and the cool aspect is that they're still pointing a finger towards the other creator.
true.
He might still be alive, which I like that idea. I
Yeah.
like the idea that he might have faked his death, and then when Madsen's character Teddy
Teddy.
is, when they're going down this road on the horses, he says that the maze is about a guy being at the very center. He's died several times. He's tired of the system, so he built these walls around him in the maze. He's the only one who knows how to get in and out. It's a defensive mechanism. So yeah, I'm hoping that that's what we have at the center of this.
Okay. But that brings up a good point. And my question is then, how does Teddy know so much about the maze? I mean, he blurted all this stuff out, and you're just like, wait a minute. Because,
Well, that was all in part because when they were sitting in that saloon, when the Man in Black, who is Ed Harris and Anthony Hopkins' character, were sitting at that table, when Hopkins got up to leave, he put his hand on Teddy's shoulder. He gave a few notable words to Teddy, which is basically kind of a reboot of a system. He's no longer fatigued. He's no longer tired.
yeah.
But I think it also was a command to possibly download the information.
Okay. Okay. There's that part. Yeah. Cause I mean, we've seen Dr. Ford basically go, and you, and then people start moving at it. He's got this power in this finger.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of interesting how he kind of blurted this all out, because a lot of times too, though, you have Dr. Ford, Anthony Hopkins' character, kind of seeing the symbols, almost like he's not fully knowledgeable of everything going on, even though he portrays and he shows that he is. There just seems to be that there's a piece of this puzzle that he's not seeing, because he's starting to get the glimpses too. He went into the village, and when they looked up at him, they had moved something off the table, and the maze had shown up. It was burned into the table, and the facial expression he kind of gave was like, okay, this is, there's something deep here. There's something going on that I don't know, and it's driving me crazy.
Well, not only that, but when we kind of made that when we said how the Man in Black and who is the other character, Jimmy, they're the same person.
Okay.
And when he kind of had that revelation of seeing his brother-in-law being pulled in by the host, and beaten up a little bit. He says, screw you, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
And they encounter that symbol on the train that
Yes.
they hopped on.
On
And
the
so it's something,
caskets.
right? So it's something that was being introduced into the park by whoever was doing the either reprogramming, the corporate espionage, or this what is that guy's name? The co-creator, uh,
Oh,
Calvin. No, not Calvin.
no, you're talking about is it Albert? Is it right? That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, which I think I think they say it's Albert. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it just I don't know, it just keeps getting more and more fascinating. Um but speaking of the co-creator, there's a new rumor that popped up that I just caught wind of the other day. Is it and
Arnold. His name's
Arnold,
Arnold.
thank you. Arnold, yes, Arnold. As close. Is it possible and that Arnold and the host that is Dr. Ford's father, don't they look a lot alike?
I think there's possibly, maybe.
Yeah, there's just seems to be it, and I think was it this episode? It was this episode where Dr. Ford is in his family home, but you don't know it. And here you have Bernard out wandering, and he comes across the cottage, goes in there, and he's about to he's basically getting attacked by the hosts, and he's trying all these commands, and then Dr. Ford steps in and gets him to shut down in a way and go about his business. And he's like, oh, he didn't do any of these commands. And then he finds out, oh my gosh, these are like first generation. But there was something that Anthony Hopkins' character had said that, you know, these were built for me because it's his family. It's a trip that they used to go on. He says, but I reprogrammed it. No, he said that he, I, how did he phrase it? It was something like he idolized my father, but I reprogrammed him to add a couple of his attributes, and that was when he was pouring a drink.
Right.
He's like, no, my father was a drunk, but yet my partner idolized him. So they're tying that in too. It's like, well, did he idolize himself? Are we talking about a father and son partnership that for some reason there's a wedge in? I don't know. I mean, it's just a rumor that's floating out there, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought that, because Bernard comes across these 5 hosts that are not, in the system.
Yes.
They're kind of, but they're being centralized to this one location, and it's an area that's obviously off limits. No one's allowed to go to, but Bernard goes out there and discovers this house and this whole family.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love that we're 6 episodes in. We are still in a really big mystery. We're getting a little information episode by episode, but man, it leaves you wanting more. It really does. More episodes to go,
Right.
which is like, no, then we gotta wait a whole year, you know? So, man, it's good. It's good. One of the things that we haven't talked about with this show, and I've wanted to since we did this, plus the other show that we do, is the music. I love the music. You've got this old time piano with music of today. I mean,
Right. Yes.
just in this last episode, we get Radiohead. In the first episode, we got Rolling Stones, we got Soundgarden, and let's see, what else did we have? We had Johnny Cash does the end credits. We have seen music from Nine Inch Nails. It's awesome. I love it. The guy who does, let's see, what's his name? It is Ramin. Oh my gosh, names. I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. Ja- Jawadi, I want to say, or it's something like that. He's the same guy who does the music for Game of Thrones, and
Was
I
that
like.
him?
Yeah, it's the same guy. So it's a mix of his stuff, and then it's also a mix of the music that we listened to, and kind of played around with and mixed in, and I love it. I can't wait for the season to be over to get the soundtrack because I dig the vibe that it gives out. It's fun.
Well, I think you have to remember too. Of we see Dolores in two different time frames. We see her in the past with Jimmy,
We think, yes.
and if that's the case, in this, let's say the not the future but the current time frame,
Hmm.
where is she?
Yeah, that's a good question. I liked the way this episode was, is because we were here. We were in the, let's just say, just
Current time
almost
frame.
current time frame, or just in the future that's just out of reach. And you've got a different feel to this episode, whereas in the other episodes, if you are buying into this, we are in two different time frames. You're getting that feel. If you watch it again, there's an atmosphere in one versus the other. Because think about it too. If we want to expand on this, you have Teddy, who now is with the Man in Black, and he's saying, "I just want to find her." That's why he's
Right.
doing it. I want to find her. But in the earlier episodes, he knows where she is. He's found her. You know what I mean? So she may have disappeared in a backstory. Maybe she's also now in the maze or something else. I don't know. It just, like I said, it just leaves you wanting more. It's a great show.
Well, we knew where she was 2 episodes ago because even Bernard was talking to her.
Yes.
But in this latest update, we don't know where she's at.
Yeah, that's true. Man, it's a puzzle. I got to go back and watch even more. I already thought I had a lot on my plate.
Well, what do you think I did last Friday night?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, it is a fun show. I enjoy it. I'm a little bummed that it's only 10 episodes because let's see, if I read the numbers right, this whole season was done for, was it 100 mil? Um, because of all the tech stuff, the computer generated stuff. The budget's pretty good, but man, it's a quality show. I just want
I agree.
more.
What they're spending on, they're going to get back. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just me alone, because of this show, I jumped on HBO. So right there, they've earned some money. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure there's others that have done the same
yeah,
thing.
but you're watching for free right now.
For
Remember?
right now, well, yeah, with that whole issue, who knows? But yeah, but I'm hooked because even when my thing runs out, I'm gonna have to continue my service so I can catch those last two episodes. So they've got me, and then shortly after that, I'm gonna end up seeing some Game of Thrones. So it's like, oh, I might as well stick with it. There's a couple of shows on there that I wouldn't mind checking out that look pretty interesting. So
I do
yeah,
have
they're
to say this though: if you think back when to Elsie first entered the building she was in, when she was finding, well, not finding, but no, actually, it wasn't Elsie, it was Bernard. When he went down to level 84, 83, whatever it was,
oh yes, okay,
and
I gotcha.
he was walking around, you see in the background, you see a cowboy
Yes, I
that
totally
looks like
forgot
Will
that.
Brenner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was an article, I think Entertainment Weekly or somebody, that had talked to Nolan and said, was that on purpose? And he says, yes, it is an homage. It is on purpose. I mean, it's the same, the way he stood, but he says, I want you to be clear, that our TV show is not connected to the movie. We just wanted to give that little nod. He
Right.
says,
I thought it was really cool.
I thought it was great because, I mean, it was clear as day. You know, I mean, he walks through, he goes in there, and all of a sudden you went, oh my gosh, you know, and it started me thinking, going, I wonder if there's any other, you know, little Easter eggs that they may have done. But I think that one, if that's the only one they've done, I think that is just awesome because it was a neat little a nod, you know, to the
I
show.
like how they did the first generation. How he was talking to the boy. He
Uh-huh.
gave some kind of funny comment. Something about his jaw, and all of a sudden his face kind of opens up.
Yes.
And you see the first gen of how they made him, which was somewhat similar to the original film. But their faces didn't do all that with the animatronics, but it was really neat. I liked it.
Yeah. No, it's been fun. But I like what they're doing with this show. I like where it's going. It's kind of interesting too that you know it's its own thing. It's not. It's just basically taking Michael Crichton's idea and expanding on it. Because I mean, this, if you think about it, Westworld was his first amusement park story that went wrong. You know, the next one was Jurassic Park. Um, and he was, if I understand correctly, he was asked if he would rewrite it and remake it before he died in 2008, and he declined to do it. And now HBO is doing it as a show, and man, thank you. This is awesome. I can't get
Yeah,
enough.
this is good. This is gonna this is gonna haunt me when this ends until next
Yeah,
season.
yeah, you got to try and find that filler. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's episode that we can sit and spoil it for everybody. Um, you have anything else you want to add?
I don't. I will probably rewatch this tomorrow since I'm off tomorrow. Um, just because I think there's probably other Easter eggs in this episode that I probably missed. So I'm gonna be rewatching this tomorrow, as
Yeah,
well as probably a couple other things.
I agree. I agree. I'm probably going to be rewatching it as well. Oh, before I go, one of the things that I noticed too, you know, like when we got the Easter egg of Yul Brenner, and then he goes and he sits down at the computer, um, and they've talked about these levels were kind of abandoned because of whatever it was. It was interesting that the handheld computer was able to sync with the desktop computer. And if you think about the two technologies, you're really not that far in the future, because let's say on that level 83, 84, whatever it was, if he's able to sync to that computer, that's like now technology. And what they have is more of distant future technology. So at least we know that it's not like something that's currently in our time frame. It's something that we're moving towards, which kind of gave a nod of, yeah, it's the future, but it's not too far in the future.
Right, and you also have to wonder what's going on in the lower floors,
Yes.
because when they've gone down in before to investigate, some host that's reactivated, they thought it was an issue when it was just Anthony Hopkins down there talking to him.
Yeah.
But you have what looks like a corporate level. You have architecture, you have stairs, you have you know
Cubicles,
art.
you have chairs, art. Yeah, you have, yeah, those big stairways. You're absolutely correct. The other thing too is that you say, like, when they've gone down there and they thought it was a threat, these guys were packing. I mean, these
Yeah.
guys were heavy armored. So what else is down there?
You also have to ask what happened.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
what happened to basically abandon these levels, and what was going on down there. Why are the cooling systems not working? How come all this water's down there?
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's kind of it really makes you wonder what happened. Did they have a revolt?
Yeah. It almost feels, it feels very reminiscent of Lost. You
Well,
know,
I
you
mean, it
have,
would kind of make sense.
get to the bunker and, all that stuff. And I don't know. It's cool. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I know a lot of other people are intrigued. We can't wait till next season, even though we're still on the first season. Um, but man, I have a feeling that the end of season 1 is going to be a huge cliffhanger, and we're just going to be like, crap, we have to wait.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, because we're not going to get any resolve. No, right? I mean, we're looking at maybe at least what, 5 seasons, I think they said. So
Well, and really, I mean, ask yourself this: do you want any major resolution?
no, no, I
I
want
didn't
more
think so.
story. I want more story. I want it, but it's weird. You have that feeling of I want to know now because I don't want to go on the journey, but I want to go on the journey.
Yeah,
So, right on. Love it. It's a great show. Everybody should be watching it. If you're not, start watching it now. So, but yeah, I think that's it for this episode of Spoil It. This was a good one. We'll do it again
I
next week.
agree. Yeah, I think this week's Rebels and this week's Westworld were really good.
Yeah, I am looking forward to the next one. Let's see. What do they say the next one will be? Let's see here. Let me back up. Let's give a little preview of what we shall be talking about next week. Let's pull up the episodes. So we have seen the original, we've seen Chestnut, we've seen The Stray, we have seen Dissistent. I can't even say it. Something Theory. So the next one is great. Something hard for me to say. It's Trompe Loel or Loel or something like that. Um, and guess what? There is nothing written, so we're not going to know anything until either just before the show or the show hits. So
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. So next week we'll talk about season 1, episode 7 of Westworld, and we'll talk about season 3, episode
Seven.
is it 7 of Rebels. So So I'm Simon with ConstantCollectible.com. Come check us out. We've got lots of content popping up every day. You can find us at Twitter at C_collectible. Our website, of course, ConstantCollectible.com. And Chad, where can they find you?
Goody. You can find me at Chad Griffin 12 on Twitter, as well as DJ Kilt on Instagram. And of course, over at ConstantCollectible.com, come visit us. Come check out our reviews and our work.
Yeah. Leave a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what your theories are. Would love to actually have that conversation. Because, this show will produce theories. And if you've got something that's a little different than what everybody else is talking about, let's chat because I want to know. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week. Hope you are too. Bye.
Take care, everyone.